So today I want to talk about a really important concept, something that you guys have requested quite a bit, and something that I think is actually incredibly important, not just for the flashy aspects, but also just for being able to strengthen your musical brain. What I'm talking about is hand separation or hand independence, being able to have your right and left hand each able to do all sorts of things like play melodies and improvise while the other hand does something else. So why is this important? Well, honestly, I think someone like Brad Mehldau is a great example of what you can do if you have that skill. Brad really popularized, more than anyone before him, the skill of having your right hand do a sort of ostinato or almost serve as the accompanist to your left hand while your left hand plays a melody or improvises or whatnot. But of course, way before Brad, we had Bach, and Bach's compositions are also incredible examples of just how much you can do if both hands are independent of each other. So I'm actually going to split up our hand separation exercises into a couple different parts because I think that's the best way to learn them. So today, what you are going to learn are some exercises for the classic method of having your left hand be the accompaniment while your right hand has total independence. But with that said, there are a lot of different ways of doing that, and it gets super tricky. So again, let's dive into some highly focused exercises where our left hand is doing ostinatos or comping rhythmic patterns, and our right hand is either playing melodies or improvising. Okay, guys, so let's jump right into these exercises. I want to start with a steady stream of eighth notes in our left hand, okay? So us jazzers, we're often used to comping with our left hands while we improvise, right? But less often are we actually doing eighth note accompaniment. So let's jump into having our left hand accompany the right hand. And what's going to make this tricky is we need to be able to separate our brain so that our left hand can continue its stream of eighth notes while our right hand does all sorts of other things. So I'm going to take these semi-quick in some cases. If you need to slow down any of the exercises, by all means, go ahead and do so. It's great to practice things slow starting off. Okay, so for exercise number 1, I just want to start getting our left hand with a steady stream of eighth notes. So let's just do an ascending C major 7 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's keep it simple at first. Let's see if we can do the same thing in our right hand, but descending. Okay, that's pretty simple, right? Okay. So let's do descending, then ascending. Cool. Again, I'm going through these quickly to give you lots of information and lots of exercises you can practice, but you should always feel free to slow down and take these one at a time. So when things start to get really tricky is when we start actually doing some more syncopated rhythms in our right hand. So it's really going to force our brain to not only be playing in different directions, but playing different rhythms, okay? So I want to start with a simple dotted quarter note in the right hand. So here we go. One more time. This is still fairly on the easy side, I would say, in terms of how difficult we can get with these exercises, how far we can take them. So I want to get a little trickier. We've been keeping everything in one octave in our right hand, right? So let's keep that simple ascending arpeggio in our left hand, but let's start doing something a little trickier in our right hand. Let's try going up 2 octaves with an arpeggio, okay? So let's start again with eighth notes, but we'll do 2 octaves. This time I'm going to do a different arpeggio. I'm going to do E, A, B, and then E, A, B again. And actually, while we do eighth notes, to keep it aligning properly, I'm going to do... So we're going to just repeat that. And what I did there was I jumped from the thumb to the pinky like that. Okay, so let's get our eighth notes back in the left hand. Cool. That's great. But what if we actually make the right hand now do triplets? That's going to be tricky. Honestly, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me try again. So I just realized I had to change up the arpeggio slightly. This time we're not repeating the E's. Again, just we want it to align rhythmically. That's the only reason I'm doing it. So I'm just arpeggiating like this. So let's do that one more time. Awesome, guys. Okay, so the cool thing is there is still so much more we can do with these exercises, and I've actually written tons of these down. Before we go any further, I want to let you guys know if you check out my website, jazzpianoconcepts.com/store, I have a course full of these exercises available for instant download. I think it's a really good price, and anytime you guys buy these, it really helps me out to keep making exercises like these for you and keep posting videos. So I really appreciate the support, and I think you're also getting some amazing exercises to take all of this further. So be sure to check that out if you want to dive further into this. But I've also got a lot more stuff to show you today. So far we've literally just been keeping our left hand doing this simple ascending major 7 chord. But check this out. This is really funny how much more difficult this little change is going to make these exercises. Rather than just ascending, I want to now change up the order in which we play the notes. I want to do, okay, so we're doing 1, 5, 3, 7. And believe it or not, this, at least for some of us, will put a wrench in our brains. It totally does for me. Even just doing this with the left hand is already a lot trickier. So let's go back to our simple exercises. Ooh, I already messed up. Right? So just changing the order in which we play the notes like that totally messes with your brain, and if it's something you're not used to, this exercise starts to open you up to much better hand separation. You're forced to do something you're not used to. So I want to continue with that. Clearly it's something I need to practice too, guys. So I'm right there with you. I'm gonna be working on these exercises too. Let's continue with this. Let's try some of the other things we did. Let's see if we can get some triplets in the right hand. Again, I really have no idea if I'm going to be able to do this, but we did for arpeggio. All right. Sometimes I find it helps to really get into the flow of the left hand, of the one hand that is the accompanist. So let that flow really just kind of lock in. Do it until you feel really comfy. It should feel like second nature. All right, I'm going to try adding the triplets. All right, cool. So it was actually a little easier than I expected for me, but at the same time, I was totally not comfortable doing that. So I, myself, am going to continue to practice that until I feel like it's all second nature. Both hands executing these at the same time is total second nature. When you guys practice this stuff, it's totally cool to take it slow. I highly recommend using a metronome. You can literally keep track of the tempo, start slow, maybe move it up, keep moving up until you can do it fast. And it's going to help you both technically, but most importantly, your hand separation is going to improve immensely. Again, guys, if you want to keep working on this 5 minutes a day, It's all you really need to get that brain separation happening. And again, if you want to really dive in depth with these exercises, I have all of them available for instant download on my website. I'll post the link. Check it out there if you want to support. And I think it'll be really helpful for you guys as well. Awesome, guys. So this has been a great workout. There's so many more exercises where that came from. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed working on these exercises. I'm going to be shedding them myself. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Please click the like button, not just because I love seeing that number go up, but also because obviously it's going to help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm so that I get more people watching these videos. And also make sure, if you haven't already, click subscribe and click the little bell to turn on notifications. I'm going to have so many more lessons coming to you guys this year. Really excited to share them with you, so I don't want you to miss anything. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon for part 2.